You talking about what they did last week? Yeah, they do. I mean, they're who they are, I think, and you got to give USC some credit. Those guys are pretty good too. So I think it was a really good game, and USC came out on top. But Washington's very talented, and they are where they're ranked for a reason. They've got a good football team.
But you didn't say anything last week that you haven't seen the first 9 weeks of sort of efficiency?
No. I don't think so. I think they're pretty sound everywhere, and like I said, they're going to make you earn it for sure.
Could that loss be a good thing or a bad thing? Where you see things you could exploit, or a bad thing where you know they're going to be pretty fired?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be motivated. I think they were motivated for that game too. I think when you have two good teams play, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. So I don't think there's anything to read into it other than we got to make sure we give ourselves the best chance to win. We got to take care of the ball, something we didn't do last week, and we got to score touchdowns when we can and not have negative plays. If we do those things, we'll have an opportunity.
Was it really frustrating, for the offensive line last week? I mean, did you feel like a sense of urgency for that unit specifically?
Not really. Yeah, we gave up some sacks, but you got to remember, really, only 4 of them were really the O-line. The quarterback's got to do his job, throw the ball away. We got to make sure that when we had a couple tricks that backfire, we run out of bounds on one. The other one, we drop the thing in the backfield. All those count as sacks. So it's misleading. I think our O-line is what they are. They're a young group who's missing a couple guys that's struggling, and you play good teams, that happens. And we got to do a better job of helping them out all the way around, quarterback, running back, everywhere.
Chris Thompson seems to be optimistic about those young players, though, that they're going to be good. Do you have that same opinion?
No question. I mean, it's the offensive line we had last year. I was here for the bowl game. Was an experienced group who had played. They'd already been through their ups and downs, so to speak, and there were still times where they struggled too. So it's one of those things where our guys have just got to get more reps, and obviously staying healthy is always important. And I'm excited about that group as a unit. I think we've got 10 or 11 guys that can really play, which is good. Just got to get more reps and get guys back healthy.
And it's been tough 2 games with Demar Richard. You expect him to be more on track?
I hope so. We'll see.
Your thoughts on Ray Anderson giving Todd Graham the board confidence is coming out and saying, "Look, he'll be back next year."
Shoot, I didn't know he did that. That's great. Yeah, I don't know. That's really, I don't have a comment on that. I didn't even know what happened really.
Obviously, you would like to be at full strength on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Does it give you encouragement to see guys like Cole Cabral and Steve Miller, who are younger players, get these reps early?
Yeah, without a doubt. That's going to help us down the road, and they get a whole nother spring, hopefully bowl practice, whole another spring, and then next year, So I think you're building for the future with that group, And those guys, the more reps they get and the more reps they put in the bank, I think the better that is for them.
In your experience, how does a bowl practice impact a young group like that?
It just gives you 15 more practices, roughly, depending on when you play, obviously. And those practices, when everybody's getting reps and everybody's getting work, I mean, those are things that you can't replace experience, whether it's practice or games and so forth. And so, I think it's important that we try to do that for a lot of reasons, but one is to get those guys more reps.
You obviously for the bowl practices last year. Did you have any players in offense that you really saw going into last spring practice in the season that those bowl practices really impacted?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you talk about some of these young old linemen, I think they've, when you look at each individual spot, I think those guys have improved, and I think that helped those guys for sure. I think the quarterbacks for sure helping, those guys get used to me and what we're doing, and maybe the little nuances that are a little different. And then obviously the young wideouts, a lot of those guys weren't here, so they missed on that. So, I think that's important for us. That's just part of what we're trying to do for the reasoning getting into a bowl is to help those guys get more practices.
Tim White said yesterday that going up against Adoree Jackson helped him to prepare for Washington's corners. What do you see from them?
I hope so. I mean, Adoree's a great player, so there's no question. When you compete against really good players, I think it helps you. I think they're a little different from their style of play, those corners, but they're really good players. They're long, physical guys, and we're going to have to definitely do a good job of playing with our hands and doing a good job getting open and blocking and all the things that go along with it.
You mentioned Danny maybe holding the ball some too long. What other evaluations do you have about how he played against you?
Oh, I think he's a typical guy that hasn't played that much, really, to be honest. When you look at how many games he's played, obviously being a first-year guy, plus he's been banged up. And I think he'll be the first to stand here and tell you he didn't play his best. And, I think Manny's still learning. He's got to do a better job, and all the quarterbacks do, of getting the ball out of their hand. That's important. That's one of the things that we talk about a lot is ball security, and what goes along with that is our quarterbacks doing their part. When you run around and make a play, it looks great, and then when you run around and run out of bounds and take a sack, it's not so great, and it's not necessarily the O-line's fault. So we got to do a good job there. And then, running backs also part of protection. It's not always just the O-line. So, but at the same time, I think those are mistakes we're learning from. And there's been games we've done it really well. It's just sometimes when you play good people, things happen a little faster than you're probably used to.